Please allow me to adjust my pants so that I may dance the good time dance and put the onlookers and innocent bystanders into a trance.
From Canada, New York, it's the Duane Wilt Show!
Give the sea so the swine will marry and propagate lies. Tough luck for elected officials, the beast you see got 50 eyes. Bring it on home, spread the wealth, play it cool, the hand's been dealt. Now all the odds are in our favor, save the victory speeches for later. Streets on fire, the mob goes wild, wild, wild. Streets on fire, the mob goes wild. 21 guns, box made of pine, letter from the government sealed and signed, delivered Federal Express on your mother's doorsteps. 21 guns, box made of pine, letter from the government sealed and signed, delivered Federal Express on your mother's doorsteps.
Hello, everybody, and thank you again for joining us here on the Duane Wilt Show for BeerPirateRadio.com. We did it. After you guys, any of you, if you did listen through that just echoey, brutal mess that was last week's episode. The content was there. The content was fun. It was funny, but we were running a 2-microphone system and didn't really work out as far as echoiness was concerned. So now we're all sitting around one microphone, campfire style, very much a Limp Bizkit situation, and somebody's about to ejaculate on this microphone, and then one of you has to eat it. No, we're not gonna masturbate. These microphones cost me too much to masturbate on, which is unfortunate. Like, I spend too much. Like, I want to spend money on things to masturbate into.
That's a sexy microphone.
That is a pretty sexy microphone. If you take the pop filter off, I don't know if this will affect the recording sound. It probably will. But look at that. That's a sexy mic.
Shiny.
Very shiny. I was watching. I went and saw Marilyn Manson over the weekend. He was sitting there slamming the microphone against the ground, just like as he was saying, like doing like middle of Dope Show, like and he's like slamming the microphone on the ground, rolling around, just like full showmanship in his late 40s, early 50s, just full blown showmanship. But as he's hitting the microphone against the ground, because I own microphones, I'm like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Those things aren't cheap. How can you just dink, dink, dink?
Because he's not cheap. He's got the money to do so.
Oh man, I just couldn't imagine bringing myself to do that, smashing a microphone on the ground. That boggles my mind. Like I said, I pay money for these things. He probably doesn't. It's not even his money. I'm sure of it. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's his money, but it's like there's an overall that this is how much money you have for the tour, and he's like, all right, well, make sure you set aside a bunch for extra microphones because I smash them against the ground. It's part of the showmanship. Marilyn Manson, I was supposed to see over a decade ago and wasn't able to, which is just a fucking shit show because he wasn't allowed at Darien Lake because it's a family venue. Now, mind you, at this exact same venue, there was Cradle of Filth, who, if you don't know, is one of the like most openly satanic, just brutal, like Norwegian death metal bands. I think they're Norwegian. I might be wrong. Somewhere that's not America. And their metal is darker and scarier.
This is where Squeeze's guard from Metalocalypse comes from.
Yeah. It's full planet piss. But no.
You know, on that topic of music, my now wife, Brittany Lynn Tush Inglesby, and I went and saw Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin, the day after you? 2 days after you?
No, actually, I saw the Breaking Benjamin show a few weeks ago at Syracuse. It was the first stop on the tour. But let's take a step back. You're going to jump into music. The new Paul Inglesby Tush, Mrs. Paul Inglesby Tush, and Mr. sitting on the couch today. Fucking congratulations on your nuptials. That round of applause. Yeah. Absolutely. And you assholes sitting at home better be fucking clapping.
And it better be in a circle or I don't accept it.
It's very exciting. Your wedding was top notch. Just chocked to the rim full of weird, and I loved it. It was so great.
Especially for the low budget we had.
Yeah, it was a low-budget wedding, and it was like a high-humidity day. The wind was blowing. I'm going to set the scene for all you out there. And romance was in the air. And there was...
romance is hot.
romance better be hot. If it's not hot, it's not good romance. Right? Well, I mean, and unless it's with Lady Gaga, then it's bad romance.
Well, continue to Stephen King and paint this picture.
I'm not. Yeah, it's pronounced Gaga. If you were a fan, you'd know. Okay, don't. That's me calling. I haven't gone around the table real quick, or around the mic. Robbie Cobb, say hello to the people.
What is up, Duane Wilt Show listeners? I am glad you're with us again.
But he was the one I was just making fun of. He's the gay guy I was making fun of for not being a big enough Lady Gaga fan.
I guess I'm not that gay.
It's not that gay. I guess I am.
Well, it doesn't always have to rain.
And of course, the newlyweds, Paul and Brittany Inglesby with the tush for the one, right? Because you don't take the tush, or do you?
No, no, actually.
Good luck. I've been barking up that tree for years.
Welcome all you listeners to fill you in. When it came to signing the paperwork, we were trying to figure out, okay, does she want to be Brittany Lynn Inglesby, or does she want to be Brittany Lynn Tush Inglesby? Now, we decided for Tush Inglesby because, in my opinion, I didn't want to lose my BLT. She's too damn tasty. And on top of that, BLTI sounds much more classier than BLI. BLI just sounds like something you don't fucking want.
I don't know. BLTI sounds like something you have to go to the clinic to get checked for. I think I might have the BLTI. It drips. It burns when I sit to pee.
Then the BLI is even worse because that's lost to T.
That's what does losing the T have to do with anything?
Chad Appy thinks he's witty.
Hey, well, he's not, and I want to call him out in front of the listeners. Also on the couch, we have our resident scab /
villain.
Well, villain today. He does have the villainous look. What I wanted to have, like what I had in my mind is to call him was the what was I gonna say? Was the
Hello, by the way.
yeah, our resident scab and something about Disney Prince Rapscallion. I don't know. I had something planned, but he's cut the hair. He's got the chops. You because you were you were Mr. Nigma Edward, yep. The Enigma. Oh, I see what he did there, Edward. Clever devil. And of course, Robbie was in the wedding as Lex Luthor. I reprised my role as comedian Duane Wilt. Went full cosplay. Didn't break character once, which was really good of me. I was gonna do the penguin. That's what I do. If any of you look at my Facebook photos, you'll see that I make an excellent penguin. I was unable to secure the funds to rent a tuxedo, and after that balls hot day, I was super glad I didn't have the funds.
I mean, honestly, I'm glad too. I would have thought that Tom would have thought similarly, but I got those gel ice packs, and I stuck them in each coat pocket, so each time the wind was blowing through, I was getting a cold breeze to keep my core body temperature cool.
That's a smart way to do it.
And then when I got to the fire hall for the reception, throughout the entire course of the reception, I drank like 16 bottles of water.
Well, yeah, but you guys walked, what is that, 3 miles from the wedding site to the fire hall afterwards?
It's only about a mile, about a mile altogether, because it's a quarter mile from my house to the park, believe it or not, and it's a quarter mile to the fire hall. And
that's farther than a quarter mile. Come on, that's
the fire hall.
It's a bit
Maybe
of a hike.
It's a half mile, but it's definitely not too far away. What would you say, Josh? You drive.
He drives. He doesn't check the. You know what you can do next time? Play Pokemon Go on the way to the fire hall, and we'll know exactly how many kilometers it is. And one of us will have to get together and do the math so we can find out what it is in American.
I have
to specify. You shouldn't do that while you're driving.
Yeah, don't go and drive.
I had a conversation with a guy at the fucking today. He came through the drive-through, and like, number one, he racked up my time by sitting there talking to me for too fucking long. He did, and it was annoyed. I was annoyed. It was annoying, but I says to him. And I was like, he's asked me, do you? And he holds up the phone with the app going, and I was like, no, I just, because I do the beer reviews with my phone, and I have all these different other things that I do. I can't necessarily have my phone. I don't have a good phone. I don't have a great phone. I take a lot of video with my phone, so I can't have apps taking up storage space on my phone that I just need. All right, and Pokemon Go is not an app that I need. that's where I'm at. Like I have the apps that I need to try to help build my internet presence, which I don't have a good one of. So any of you listeners who are out there, you hear this, if I can share the Duane Wilt, if I can help me out, make people like me, or at least try, like at least put them onto me, and then let them decide whether or not they don't hate me.
Share the vanilla soft serve.
Share. You have to share.
And then on that note, another reason why he doesn't want Pokemon Go is because ice cream truck season is almost over with.
Right? Did I tell you what happened the other day? This happening. I was coming right up around the corner from where I live through the Chase Bank parking lot. And there's a couple of these kids and they're riding around on their bicycles, and they see me and I'm riding my bike, and I ride my bike.
Bicicleta?
My teeny bicicleta, and I ride my bike. Not like a lot of other people ride their bike. They ride it for fitness reasons. They ride it because it's just cheaper and easier to get back and forth to work. I mean, in my town, it really is, because I don't live far from work, and I get on my bike and I go. It's quick and easy. I don't drive because of my DWI. You know what I'm saying?
And it doesn't stand for Duane Wilt Incorporated.
No, it was Duane Wilt's Intoxicated, and they found out pretty quickly. The worst part was when I got busted driving, or my DWI, didn't get busted driving. I can get into that. There's a whole subsection we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But I didn't even get busted driving. I pled out to the DWI so I could drop other charges that had happened. So I made a smart, or not necessarily a smart decision. I made the decision I made. And I stuck with it. But where was I going? Oh, the Pokemon Go guy. He came in my drive-thru and he's busting my ball. Well, not busting my ball. He shows me the app. He's like, "Do you?"
Balls.
And I'm just like, "No, I don't." Because I don't. Like I can't. I want to shit on it. I want to make the joke like, "Oh, because I have like sex life, so I don't need a Pokemon Go." Listen, you can go fuck in the woods. You can go and chill. I know people who go and. Go and chill. I like that. You guys like that? The go and chill?
I've not actually witnessed the chill part, but I have seen people go and, I guess, quote unquote, chill, because complete strangers meet up, talk to each other, and all of a sudden they go off holding hands.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, dude. Bringing people together. Like, I should get Pokemon Go so I can meet a black chick. Right? No, I don't know. Do they go? Do they a lot
of black people.
A lot of black people Pokemon Go. I don't know. I don't Pokemon Go. I assume all of the Asians do.
A little bit.
Well,
a little bit.
I just feel like I don't know how to meet black people. There's none of them in Canandaigua. Well, there is. There's a few. There's very, very few. And I'm not actually looking for a black chick anyway. I don't know why I said that. The fever. It's jungly. I don't know.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah, we're all going to hell. And a handbasket. So
That was my drag queen name, actually.
I know, hell in a handbasket.
But you know what? I'm glad you got that monkey off your back.
Bro. Besides, it's a coon hanging from a tree. No, no, that's just my favorite scene from Pocahontas. Come on. We all know Disney's not racist. Pocahontas and chill.
Oh,
For 14-year-old native girls and chill.
You know, I'm pretty sure they're good for the
got
Pokemon,
dark.
but the Haunted
She might have been
12? 12-year-old native girls and chill.
I call bullshit on her being 12. You are not full figured like that at 12.
In the cartoon,
That's Disney.
That's come on, yeah.
You can't take Disney that way. Historically, Pocahontas was described as being between 10 and 12 years old, short and pudgy. At no point was she Polynesian Barbie.
Yeah. I mean, on that subject, I guess they were all good, or all for the poking, but the Haunted was just out of the question.
Right. Well, now we can paint with all of the colors of the Pokedex. But so it's the dude started telling me, he was like, "Do you go?" And I was like, "No, I don't fucking go, man." And he was just like, I was like, "Dude, all right, he's gonna go. He paid me, and he's gonna go. Like, leave, go." And I was like, "Be safe out there. Don't drive and go." And he was like, "Well, I do. I just gave him a dirty look and closed my window. Because what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't insult the guy because I'm fucking driving, or I'm at my job, and he's gonna leave. And I tell all these people, make sure you fill out the survey because I'm sad and pathetic and need the love and affection my parents never gave me. You know."
You'd probably get better surveys that way.
Right? No, I tell people when they ask me, they're like, "How are you so happy?" And I can't respond legally with, because I'm fucking high. You know? No, the way I have to tell people, like, I was making the joke for a while, I say, "Duane," because they tell me, "Duane, you got to come in, put on that big fake smile and pretend you're not dead inside." So here I am. And people love that. They get a kick out of it every time. and like I'm just sad, and they don't know better because I have to put on that big fake smile.
So does this big fake smile come from the experience of being around your children?
No, my big fake smile, honestly, it comes from the service positions that I've worked, dealing with customers, and just having to put on that giant fake smile and pretend that everything's okay, no matter how shitty everything is.
It is amazing what people who serve food have to deal with. People come in to Charlie's all of the time, and we aren't allowed to yell at them even when they're wrong. We're always the wrong ones. We always have to apologize.
Customer's always right.
You see, that's why I could never be a counter person at Charlie's. I've been straight up told by Scott, because he asked me, if you get a rude customer, what are you going to say? That there's 2 other Charlie's here in New York, and the closest one is Webster. Try your luck there.
I don't do so well in the serving career. I've got this verbal affliction, and I think it's called bitchiness.
You think it's called bitchy? Come on, you know it's
I remember
called
this
bitchiness.
one customer. This instance, I actually had to quit before I got fired. But I remember this one customer, awful guy. In the 45 minutes that he was there, he complained about the service, the food, and the prices, and he asked me to turn down the flame because I was giving him a tan. When I brought his check to him, I just handed it to him and walked away, and he just looked at me and was like, "Aren't you going to tell me to have a nice day?" I looked back over my shoulder at him and said, "I don't care if you have a pulse, much less a nice day."
I always do that when people are rude to me in the drive-thru, because people are rude to me. My part of my job is I have to hand everybody their fucking receipt and say, make sure you go online and fill out the survey and tell my bosses that you fucking love me. You know, in a nutshell, that's what I have to say. And sometimes in the middle of giving my spiel, and I put in so much effort. If you come to the Canandaigua drive-thru Taco Bell, or if you're listening to this because you do, you know damn well that I put more effort into driving through or people who driving through the Taco Bell than anybody does in like 90% of their jobs. Like, if people who have to cure cancer put this much effort into curing cancer, cancer would be cured. Is how much effort I put into the drive-thru into a Taco Bell.
Pretty much.
You know? So when people come through and I tell them about the survey, and they're just, what they do is they crumple it up while they're looking at me in my eyes. They crumple up the receipt, and then they throw it on the ground. Or they throw it into the floor of their car. Like, and they pretend like I don't see it. Motherfucker, I handle your food.
There's an old saying, "'Tis not wise to piss off those who prepare your food."
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. Like, maybe they've never seen the movie Waiting. You know? Or the movie fucking Clerks 2.
Or even Super Troopers, for that matter.
Or Super Troopers, exactly. There's so many references. I'm telling you right now, do you understand, like, that 16-year-old kid who fucked up your order because you know he doesn't give a shit about your order? You think he's really going to care that much more? Like, or not give a shit if you're being a dick? Like, that kid doesn't give a shit about his job as it is. You know what I'm saying? 99% of the time, the kid behind the counter doesn't give a shit about his fucking job. So if you're going to be a rude prick, do you think he really cares what he does to your food? Now, I'm not saying in our Taco Bell, we're very upstanding, we're very clean. I'm a manager myself, so I wouldn't let that shit fucking happen. I wouldn't. But I have worked in other facilities where that is the norm. With somebody who fucks with you or is a prick to you. And I'm just doing my thing. I'm trying to just be helpful and happy and give people the best service I can with my giant fake smile.
I mean, I don't remember actual, like, legit stories, but I recall stories of you telling me horror stories about rude customers in the drive-in and the shit that you guys used to do back when you worked at Burger King all those years ago.
Burger King with my homegirl, Alicia. My mom still calls her BK girl. You ever see that BK girl? That's what she called her. I love Alicia. She's one of my closest friends. She's currently living in North or South, one of the Carolinas. She moved down there with her Juggalo Prince from Buffalo.
Really?
Yeah. A rapper, actually. He was supposed to be at the 607 gathering that I attended and did the comedy at 3 o'clock in the morning when my previous laptop shit the bed, as we all know from last week's episode. And, she apparently moved down there with him, but Alicia, I remember the one day particularly, what I remember is the guy was being a rude prick through the headset. Before he ever got to the window, like, there's a button for us to talk to the customer, and then there's a button on the headset so you can talk to all the other people in the restaurant. Now, one of my current manager says that the A button is for assholes because that's who you're talking to, the customer. The B button is for your buddies because you're talking to everybody around you. And you can talk to just the headsets where the customers won't hear you. You can talk to the customers, but everybody who has a headset hears you. And I was, as the one person pulled away, this is Burger King, this is years ago, I was like, what a rude prick, through the buddies button. And I just hear from the back, she's like, that sounds like confirmation or something along those lines, where that sounds like she had permission to just drop the burger on the floor before she made it. And that is precisely what she did.
Well, as sad as this sounds, dropping it on the floor probably made it just a little bit healthier.
I don't know about Burger King has the flame broiler, so you really cook out a lot of the fat. Nothing's healthy anyway. Barely what you get at a restaurant anymore is even fucking meat. Like, at least at those the faster food ones, the quick service industries.
Yeah, I mean, it's already bad enough that you guys grind up rocks at like 2 in the morning at Taco Bell.
Busting rocks at the old Taco Bell. Back to the old grinder stoned, as I like to call it.
Now, when I worked at Burger King, I didn't deal with drive-through or customers. I worked the kitchen, so I had to deal with the whip-cracking bitch of a manager. There was this one time I remember, and she was just, I'm assuming that every Burger King or every pretty much place of employment has that one whip-cracking bitch, no matter who it is.
Her name's Renee.
Actually, I think her name was Lydia, or Linda, or Lindsay, or who gives a fuck, it's not important to the story.
She sounds like a bitch.
The only way she communicated with anybody was at the top of her lungs, and you have not been yelled at until it's been through a headset, okay?
Well, I've been yelled at through a headset. Oh, you believe you me? I get yelled at through a headset by the customers. They pull up and they're yelling.
Oh, wow.
Well, they assume that I can't hear them or something.
Have you ever had the exact opposite happen though?
The extra quiet?
Yeah, where
I've dealt with the Dane Cook skit in real life. I have done that.
So after this, there was this one time, and she had just been a royal bitch to everybody, screaming at everybody in front of her. We weren't doing anything good enough. She goes to take inventory in one of the freezers. It's one of the freezers that is broken. The door is broken. It doesn't open from the inside. The other two freezers did. That one didn't. So she had the door open. And I'm over by the sink washing the dishes, and as I walk past to bring these freshly washed pots and pans over to the other side of the kitchen, because they build these things really stupidly weird. I don't know why I have to cross the entire freaking kitchen to go to put the dishes away. I slipped on that floor and had to rewash all the dishes because they all flew out of my hands and at least 4 of them landed on top of me. But anyway,
full-blown cartoon.
Yes, full-blown freaking Three Stooges cartoon, and I go after pretty much. And I walk past this freezer, and I know she's in there. I just push the door closed and continue on my way like nothing happened for 20 minutes. Nobody let her out of there. We all heard her screaming. We all heard her banging on that door. Nobody let her out.
Oh my God. What do you guys do? Just play stupid?
Absolutely. How could she prove otherwise? Finally, somebody let her out. I begged them not to. Finally, someone opened up the door. It's like, were you knocking? She lost her shit. There's a line of customers watching her scream at all of us, who the fuck closed that door? Didn't you fucking hear me screaming in there? We're like, we didn't hear anything. We've got our headphones on.
But a lot of those walk-in freezer doors are almost soundproof.
Yeah, though
you need to be making
that's
a
where a
lot of
chef
noise.
goes to scream their head off.
Pretty much. Like,
I've worked everything from fast food to 5-star. You go into that walk-in because you need a second to cool off, and not necessarily because it's cool in there. It's because you need to scream at what some fucking dumb putz just did.
Everybody pretended they didn't know anything. Everyone saw me close that door. Nobody saw a thing.
At least they had your back.
You did what they were all thinking and not ballsy enough to do.
Pretty much.
Now, I totally understand. Whoop, party foul.
Party foul.
Now,
Dun dun dun.
Now you have to get punished.
yeah.
Leave your comments.
Yeah, comments from the audience. Paul with our second podcast foul.
To be fair, I paid for my own beer and I wear it proudly.
True, he spilled his own beer on himself.
Fair enough.
And it didn't hit the couch.
Leniency should be taken into consideration.
Well, that's up to the listeners.
It really is.
And,
True, I'm not paid to defend him.
Last time our listeners reached out because we had a party foul. We had Logan as our Edward 40 Hands of last week, and the Beer Pirate Radio Facebook page shared that. I posted it on my Duane Wilt comedy page, and anybody you find, go ahead and finds that, and share that around a little bit, because that'll be great when he finally does get his Facebook off the ground. Logan, by the way, who is our other couch member, cast member, party member, Sig Heil.
Minion, lackey, devoted, worshiper
Oh my
at the Shrine of Duane.
Worshipper at the Shrine of Duane. That's it. That's all it is now. That's it. That's Duane Wilt Show just changed its name to worship. I don't know, the Shrine of Duane, and then my listeners are now worshipers. So
But speaking of shrines and all that crap, this goes back to what I was about to say about the kitchens and stuff like that. For those of you that don't know or haven't ever been in a big executive kitchen or any kitchen like that in general, Robbie is absolutely right. The dishwashing unit is in the back of the kitchen, and for some reason...
I keep my dishwashing unit at her apartment where she belongs.
But it's at the back of the
We are gonna
kitchen,
get letters.
and for some odd reason, you don't store the pots and pans next to where they cook, even though there's plenty of space. You have to walk to the other side of the kitchen and put them on this fucking shelf that looks like it's about to fall over. And the thing of it is the pompous asshole chefs like to treat the dishwashers like absolute shit when they are all, in factuality, should be treated like gods. Because if you don't have a dishwasher, you don't have a successful running business for the night.
Yeah, I've always tried to tell people that, like, specifically, how would I put it? Like, you could have the kind of cook who can take literally a piece of shit. If you take an actual piece of feces and doll it up and clean it up and fix it up and make that thing the best looking taste.
King shit on turd.
Like,
Island.
you literally you could literally turn that piece of turd, and if you could cook it so good that you can cook it so it'll be an amazingly awesome tasting thing that you've created. If you don't have a clean fucking plate to put it on, it's still just a piece of shit.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's what, and the dishwasher is the unsung hero of the entire restaurant world, followed secondly or closely by either your greeter or your depends on what kind of restaurant you have, but the counter person. Like, mind you, the cook has a lot of shit to deal with and a lot of tough stuff, but your job is just you get orders, you cook them, you send them out. That's all you do. Dealing with the customers and having to deal with it, like that person, that server. Like, if you work in a big restaurant, an executive kitchen, because I've worked, like I said, I've done fast food to 5-star. That counter worker is up front getting screamed at by some dumb fucking putz who doesn't like his shit getting whatever. Then she goes to the back, and then she's got to listen to the chef scream at her for the same fucking shit.
Oh, absolutely. The lower people on the totem pole get treated like shit. I used to work at the Wine and Culinary Center over here in Canandaigua. The place itself, fantastic. Wonderful crew.
I haven't been. Is the food is it good?
Oh, it is. It's great. I mean, their duck pizza is great. They have such a wonderful menu.
Is it locally caught duck right here in Canandaigua?
Right here from Canandaigua.
It
all comes from Wegmans because Wegmans funds this place. I
Okay.
hold nothing against the establishment itself, but at the time, the cooks I worked with thought just because they worked in a 3.5-star restaurant that they could boss anybody around. And I used to witness all the time these people browbeat these poor servers. And then the sons of bitches would get done with their saute pans, put them in my dish pit, and not tell me they were hot. I can't count how many times I'd come home with bandaged up hands at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's when I got the dishes done and everything mopped and went home. And they'd just get up and do it all over again because they were that bad.
Yeah, most of the executive kitchens I've worked in, like I've worked like as far as like chain restaurants, like Olive Garden specifically they had a great setup. Well, everything was set up amazing. They had on a Friday night 3 separate dishwashers. One person like putting the dishes in, like spraying them, putting them into the machine. One person just stacking them right there on like a table or something. And then one person who ran those dishes and put them away. And everything made sense. The kitchen made sense. But I feel like after however many years Olive Garden has been running, they have the chains. They have it down. You know, a lot of the bigger chains have it down. Because everything is exactly the same. You can walk into any of them, and every single one's set up literally exactly the same. Nothing's different.
That goes back to you could polish the turd, but the dirty plate is still a dirty plate.
Dirty plate's still a dirty plate, and I was just a turd washing dishes. But
I feel like another person that really gets put down on the low totem pole. Anybody that's a busser. anybody that goes around and picks
Buzzers
up.
belong on the low totem pole. Their job is to pick up shit, like pick up, like clean the tray, like tables, clean the trays, and then like wipe down the tables and collect tips. Like collect a percentage of tips.
Did we put the sign up?
I did put the sign up, and that's why somebody entered quietly. We could have kept going, Paul, but Paul interrupted. I did hang the sign. Our sign is up, and it says "Enter quietly." Oh,
Wow.
and who enters quietly? But our resident.
Asshole.
Well,
Resident asshole.
is the door open out there? No, he closed it. He's quiet. He's good. He came in. All of this would have been like avoided, and we could have just slipped in that Logan showed up at some point, and now there's no train of conversation. So Logan, say hello to the people.
What's up, everybody? Hope they're keeping up a good level of momentum going so far, so that little distraction didn't throw everybody off.
Yeah, no, it was great right until Logan got here.
Right? You know, I hear that a lot.
Well, to catch everybody up and get back on track, we were talking about the lower people in the kitchen business and how they needed respect and whatnot, and you were telling stories of Olive Garden.
Well, yeah, no, I know where I was at.
Come in the Alfredo.
Yeah.
we covered that topic already.
Oh, see.
Now,
Yeah.
one of the worst places you can work, if as far as kitchen goes, nursing homes.
Oh dear God, yes.
Anybody pisses you off, and any of the residents piss you off in a nursing home, you really can't do anything.
But you don't have to. The beautiful thing about a resident home like that, nursing home, is that no matter how much they piss you off, you're gonna know, like, you're gonna be dead soon.
That's a good point.
At that point, what can you do to them that life hasn't already?
Now, Josh, I must say, and I'll throw a shout out to you. I
Except
don't
kill
know
them.
how you do it because I worked at the Ontario County home.
Hold on. Not that I condone any of that. That's terrible. No.
The opinions expressed on the Duane Wilt
Yeah.
show, not necessarily
Not
those
necessarily the views and
But,
the people even saying that.
I worked at the Ontario County Nursing Home, and I tell you what, I don't know how I do it as a cook, and this is why I work at Charlie's. If you're dyslexic, you have no business making little Johnny's grandma her dinner, because if you miss one thing, that falls on you, and it doesn't
Little
work
Johnny's
out well.
grandma. The only thing, like, I mean,
Poor little Johnny.
well, like, does Granny have an allergy? Is that why we're concerned?
Yeah, I mean,
Or is
like,
it because you didn't puree her food enough and she couldn't drink it all the way through the straw?
I mean, either or. You have to read these tiny little fucking sheets that come in font like what, 2?
Actually, the sheets that we have to read them off are actually very legible.
But the ones I worked with just were printed off by this little 2x2 piece of paper.
Who was running the nursing home you were working at? A 2-year-old?
No, Ontario County, but it might as well be a 2-year-old, I suppose.
Fair enough.
Not to disrespect any 2-year-olds. That might
or grown-ass adults who think like 2-year-olds.
Right?
yeah, well, you see a lot of those.
I'm glad one of us said it.
Right, Ontario County, if they act like 2-year-olds really like taking money from me and giving it to my ex-wife. 2-year-olds, the fucking little pricks. I'm never eating one again.
Now, are you
That's
talking
not
about
true.
2-year-olds or little pricks?
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
say,
never
does that
eating
mean I
any more
should throw-
2-year-old little pricks.
Does that mean I should just throw away the bun in the oven?
Callback. Points for callback. Points. That's we don't do a point system here. I'm going to be on the radio, real radio. Oh, we're not real radio, but I'm going to be on the real radio later tonight. This will be in the past tense for all of you actual listeners, so I probably shouldn't even tell you. But
Hey, guess what you guys missed out on?
yeah, I guess what you missed last night. It was so cool. I'm sure it
Should
might
have been
be.
there, man.
Isn't it a little presumptuous to assume they're going to miss it?
You know what? That's fair enough. They might not miss it. They might have listened live at Wayo 104.3 FM to me being on my friend and fellow comedian Al Lish. He has a show called Hard Rock Trivia, which isn't actually any trivia about hard rock. But I think the trivia is supposed to be hard, and it's located in Rochester, The Rock. So I feel like, because it's hard ROC.
Oh, I get
sounds,
it.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a giant
Ooh.
game of rock, paper, scissors to me.
Right. Well, hopefully Duane wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Is
Always
this guy's
bring
name
paper.
Johnson by any chance?
No.
You've got Dwayne Rock, and we need a Johnson.
No,
You
it's
just smell it.
it's because he hasn't been washed in days.
Always wash your rocks.
I always watch.
Yes. I read Kevin Hart's Twitter too.
I think he posted that right after that infamous picture of him standing next to Shaq. I mean, I'm just saying. I think he's at Rock's level, being able to sniff him like that. Like maybe not intentionally, but it's just like
It just sort of happens.
It's like Superman. Wash your balls.
Every once in a while you smell a fart, and every once in a while you get a pubic hair in your.
Every once in a while,
in
you
your
don't
face.
smell a fart.
Yeah, I never smell a fart.
Yeah,
Bring 'em on.
Yeah, for the listeners out there, Logan is missing one of his senses, and it's ironic enough because I was on a
It's weird 'cause I
podcast.
can still smell dead people.
Ah, you took it. I was on a podcast recently. Did an episode of The Fine Game of Nil. If you get an opportunity to listen to those guys, they're phenomenal. A couple of my friends who do a show. You find them on SoundCloud and a couple other things. Maybe Evan would want to pick them up. I mean, it's just another avenue for them to be heard. Why not? I don't know. But yeah, the guys over at The Fine Game of Nil, they have a great podcast. And we started the episode with what sense would you rather lose? And pretty much everybody chose sense of smell. But I made the joke that I would just be like, I just wouldn't see dead people anymore.
Right.
And apparently I had stole the host jokes that night. So that just proceeds
that was
here
a little
today.
Bit of karma.
Little
Now,
bit of karma.
Since we're going for throwbacks, a while back, Duane did a show with Preston Lacey, and as you know, he's part of the Jackass crew. Our boy Logan here did a Tabasco shot and stuff like that, like a champ, because
Because
without
he drinks
your sense of
Tabasco.
smell-
I did a shot of tequila the way you're not supposed to do it.
You
Tell
sniffed it
us.
through your nose.
Yeah, no, that would have been intense.
Did it in
No,
the worst
you
possible way. I butt funneled it.
Yeah, sniff the salt. You squirt the lime juice in your eye. The funny part is, I'd never done this before like this, so I was an amateur, and at first I'm just holding the lime up to my face. I look over at Preston and his buddy there, and they're holding
Comedian
lime
Tom Garland.
over- Comedian Tom Garland. That's right. I forgot his name.
No, it's cool. No, I'm just going
He
to...
had my back though. I see him squirt the lime juice, hold it right over his face. So that's exactly what I did. Everybody's clapping everything. They forgot about the shot. So I go to him. I'm like, dude, do I still get the tequila? And he's like, yeah. He's the only one that did a shot with me that night.
Dude, I was in back and they apparently, as part of their what's it called when you get the random stuff sent back to your retainer? Part of their retainer was that they were able to have just a bottle of something.
That's not what I thought you were going for.
Now, I have video footage of this Jackass stunt that Logan does, but unfortunately one of our past guests, Morgan, is a little shit-faced due to how much alcohol I was buying that night.
Oh, Morgan
and
was
you can
hammered.
barely hear the stunt. All you see is Logan doing it.
No, you hear Morgan hollering and yelling the whole fucking time I was on stage. And I think there is a video of that as well, right? There's a video of my
Yeah,
set.
there's an entire video. I'll have him post it to your thing later.
Yeah, we'll post it. We can post it on. I know if it's not on YouTube. Do you have it on YouTube?
I do not.
You can always send it to me in a file or something. I can put it on YouTube.
It's on your Facebook. It should be.
But we'll get that up on YouTube. We're probably on the Duane Wilt comedy page. I think I need to create a Duane Wilt show page or a Duane Wilt show. A whole person, a whole person that is the Duane Wilt show, and post all of these things there. I feel like I'm gonna have to do something like that. At some point. We're back to the sign language, trying to be quiet as we offer each other beers or try to get each other beers. Because, of course, this is Beer Pirate Radio, so...
Yar!
Yar! And
Release the Kraken.
release
Of the beer.
Wait, we don't have any Kraken.
Yeah,
That's
we
a pretty
do
decent
not have
one.
any Kraken. That is really sad that you would bring that up. Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome.
We've got a
Lynchburg, huh?
bunch
Yeah.
of Rollin' Rock here, which is the unofficial beer of the Duane Wilt Show, because I can buy it at the Save-A-Lot rate across the street for an excessively cheap price. So 18 of them at a time. That gets us through a parking
Well,
lot.
tell them that. Next time you go there might not be any.
Right now.
But,
Well, no, you tell them support your local giant food chain.
And I also bought 18 of these Jack Daniel brand mixers, as I guess you'd call them.
Yeah, they're like a pre-mixed mixed drink. If you're lazy and want something disgusting, no, they're not bad. They're really not bad. But the Jack and Coke,
They're bitch
Jack
beer.
and Cola. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be like a bitch beer, but it's supposed to be like a mixed drink. It's like having Jack Daniels infused with any of these random flavors. There's the Apple Jack, which is the Jack Daniels with the apple juice soda thing.
I'm currently
The
about to open
Manzanita
a
Soul
watermelon punch.
mixed with Jack.
Yeah, man. We sold some of that today.
Did you?
Yeah, we made our quota. We gotta keep it for the next one.
Have we? Is that really what it is? If we sell one of them for, I don't know.
That's the way I look at it.
What have we ever ordered it? I don't think we've ordered Manzanita. Is it spoiled?
Yeah,
Does
I put it away every once in a while.
Is there an expiration date on those things?
Yeah.
Are we
Right.
past?
It's like when the
Oh.
cockroaches die off.
So when
They don't.
You
They
can't
go on the
even
Taco
tell.
Bell menu.
Any other soda, it's like if the syrup runs out, it looks like faded and disgusting. And the
but the Manzanita Soul
starts
just
up.
looks faded
Yeah,
and disgusting.
Oh, that's terrible.
Ugh.
I don't.
Now, we all work in most of us work in the fast food business here, with the exception of our tenant that works at Crest Manor. But there is nothing
It would
worse.
be fast food, but they're really
There is
slow
nothing
at eating.
fucking worse than changing those goddamn cartridges
You
and
just call me a
bags.
tenant?
I did, because you're a Doctor Who fan, and you did.
And I what?
And you date.
And I date.
And you date.
Okay.
Now does that mean he puts dates on things?
Yeah.
Or he goes on dates?
That's very
No.
specific.
But I mean, he pretty much carbon dates the old people and plays the waiting game.
Ooh.
How many people do you know who have died just because
Those
of
are
where you
good.
work? It's like, oh, Muriel didn't
Oh,
come through
jeez.
today. Is it like,
Okay, yeah, not for nothing, but we have a huge turnover rate. I just have to wonder.
yeah, Taco Bell has an employee turnover rate.
Yeah.
How many, do you have like a crazy customer turnover rate in residency?
Believe it or not, that doesn't really happen a lot. Like
they
maybe
just brainwash you?
one or two a year.
Is it safe to assume that the people that get dropped off there for short time periods die more than the ones that actually live there on a daily basis?
Well, last year we did have quite a few of those. Some family members brought residents in that they just they couldn't take care of anymore, and
Or
like
chose not to.
few days, not too much longer after that, they died. And there was this one guy who
At least it would have
like just he wouldn't. One guy refused to eat, and there's one person refused to take their meds.
Yeah, you can't force them. It's abuse at that
exactly.
age.
There's always a bunch of reasons why.
Get a turkey
I mean,
baster.
my grandmother was
Oh.
there for a while. And
Oh,
one day we
God.
were picking you up from work, and you had come in the room, and I introduced you, and she goes, "Oh, so you're the one that washes my bloomers."
Oh, I love that she used the word bloomers. Bloomers or knickerbockers, man.
It's not knickerbockers, it's just knickers.
Knickers.
Well, that's...
Well,
You
I
can't say
mean-
it with a hard R like that anymore.
You can't say anything with a
knickers.
hard R anymore.
And this is,
Like
and we're
Nicka.
pirates.
Knickerbockers.
No, I think it is just knickers though. Like, I don't think it's knickerbockers,
That's racist.
right? Well, hell, it's not like I'm asking them to boppity bop.
Drop the bippity.
With the hippin' and a hoppin' and a bippin' and a boppin'.
Is that racist? Hey, Mr. Knickerbocker boppity bop.
How about you?
It's like, well, we were talking to the guy who was on Vaudeville, and he was, last name was Bacher, and he was one of them, whatchamacallits there, with a hard R.
Now, speaking of racism, when I worked at the Culinary Center, I got written up for inventing what I like to call a new racial slur, because
What is it?
Yeah, we need
there's
to
this lady.
I want to
she
hear
was
it,
a
and I want to start
supervisor,
using it.
And she comes in at 11 o'clock, right after the close. She goes, "So we'll be done in the next hour, right?" And I said, "Look, you wide-eyed bitch, unless you plan on helping, get the fuck out of my kitchen." Now, she's Asian.
Wide-eyed?
Yeah, she's Asian. They see in wide view. I mean, I'm not trying to be racist.
No, that's racist. That's excessively
Yeah,
racist,
that's
sir.
not
But no, here's
No, I cannot defend you. There's no wide-eyed.
You
Wait,
could have
but-
said
Like a slant-eyed chicken. As soon as you
wait.
mention the eyes, it's
But wait.
racist.
You could've
There's
said
more.
rice picker
Like
or
Billy
something.
Mays, there's more. I
But wait.
argued, had any of them
There's
ever
no more
heard?
of Billy Mays.
Wait, she died?
No, she didn't die.
Oh, okay.
But
You just won't- we don't
I
wish.
argued, I was like, okay, have any of you heard the term wide-eyed bitch before? No? I was like, then how can you write me up for a non-existent racial
I've
slur?
heard wide mouth, bitch. I mean, I don't know
Yeah, well,
what
I-
racial
I-
slur that would
I
be.
need a wide mouth bitch every time.
That's
Otherwise-
not how you tell your jokes at your shows.
Right? Well, yeah. Otherwise, I put it in her bass.
You're just telling these jokes to the halibut now.
For the halibut.
For the halibut.
For the halibut.
Everything we do is for the halibut.
Listen, let me tell Appia something.
We better stop before they tune it out.
Aw, they
no.
made their choice.
I'd like to thank all the Duane Wilt listeners for listening. This is the point where we all drink the Kool-Aid and kill ourselves because Paul ruined it for everyone.
Paul has your party, everybody.
Man, hopefully it'll turn out like more like the one in Waco, and like we'll try to drink the Kool-Aid, but they'll just shoot us all instead. Well, I don't know. We're not black. Were those police? Was it the police who were shooting in Waco?
The police were shooting in Waco. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was a bunch of black people.
No, it wasn't. Black people don't join cults. They don't. They
Ah.
don't.
Yeah.
They don't.
They're just
It's
called
just something they don't
gangs.
do.
But they join cult movies. Does that count?
Like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Well, no, like Clerks too. I know a lot of black people that like Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, I feel like at this point, Jay and Silent Bob movies are the old ones are cult classics. But I feel like once you get Dogma and Clerks 2, like those were blockbuster movies, huge casts.
I think Jay and Silent Bob is what really brought back the cult for the franchise.
Well, I think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is actually what brought the cult following to the forefront and made it a
Right,
mainstream
that's
film.
why they made Clerks too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you got, and I don't know if Kevin Smith is just specifically trying to like shit on his own legacy, but with movies like Tusk
But
and
he even
Yoga
said,
Hosers.
He even said that movie was terrible, and then he
Really,
was
Yoga
just-
Hosers is a sequel.
Speaking of,
it's a sequel to Tusk.
Speaking of Kevin Smith, Josh actually has a Green Arrow comic that was done by him, don't you?
Yeah.
How is that?
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about it.
I haven't actually read it yet.
Of course you haven't.
Terrible.
It's
You
that
dyslexic
good.
bastard. That's what the pictures are for.
I bought How to Kill a Mockingbird recently. I haven't read it. The back of it looks amazing.
How to Kill a Mockingbird. I don't think I've heard of that.
Is it
It's
just,
an instructional booklet.
Aren't you the English literature?
He is. He's mocking
Major?
you the fact that it's not How to Kill a Mockingbird, it's To Kill a Mockingbird. Drop the
Wait,
how.
Wait. What, isn't there another book like the?
A
How the
river runs through a mockingbird. Is
Or
it
how
the tale of two
how the
mockingbirds?
How the caged bird sings or something.
he's thinking-
one mockingbird flew over a cuckoo's nest.
No, he's thinking of the bar list last night. That was Tequila Mockingbird.
Tequila.
What was it
Actually,
there?
I thought that
Love
was your
me some
other
tequila.
old drag name.
Tequila Mockingbird? No, but that's a good
It's
one.
a
I
good
should
one.
have.
It's a good one. Yeah.
But you should have heard some of my other former handles.
Well, you've told me. One of them was Jim. One of them was Dave. Oh no, not the people you handled. Okay, no,
No,
there
that's
was-
a squeeze.
that's a squeeze. That's not a handle. It's not big enough to be a handle. It's just a squeeze.
Pull the lever.
wrong lever?
No, it's
Oh,
just
back
like,
to a movie like 4 people saw.
it's just like they always tell you.
To
Don't
be
pull
di-
the trigger. You
to
gotta
be a
squeeze it.
disappointment, and I'm sure these guys do this all the time, or hear this all the time during like. I got there the other day when we went to go see the show, and I wanted to ride the drop tube ride just to be able to say pull the lever. They closed. I was so disappointed. Now I have to go back there.
Good job derailing that whole conversation for no reason, Paul.
Right?
Give it up for Paul Inglesby, everybody.
And fuck that guy that decided to close the ride.
In his defense, we had gone a full 2 minutes without making it about him, so...
Right, fair enough. That's my bad, Paul. I should have brought you into the fold.
Ugh.
The many fold, or at least one of the many underfolds of my
folds in
belly.
like the-
I've dated.
Providing nighttime heat for him?
Well, I mean, shade in the summer, heat in the winter. Big guy's got to be good for something.
So, something that I thought I'd bring up
I
during the
figured a grilled cheese
podcast
sandwich
is
every once in a while.
RockCon's
You're
coming
hungry.
up, and as for a wedding present, 2 of our
RockCon.
friends bought us RockCon tickets for next year.
Excellent.
Robbie's
Next
working
year or
on
this
an-
year, like this September.
Yeah, this September they bought
September
us.
9th through 11th. That seems tragic.
It does. But
I'm just curious how many red, white, and blue superheroes we're going to see at this
I
convention.
hope a bunch. I wish I was going patriotic instead of going as
where were
Spatch.
you on that September day?
I'm
Buffalo
actually
Five.
really excited though because RockCon starts on my birthday this year.
Right.
Which is
Yes.
really awesome.
Nice.
But getting on to my topic.
And that'll be your, what, 27th,
Robbie's-
28th, 30th, 90th?
Robbie's
How old are you?
actually-
You can't tell with you people.
It doesn't matter. She's going to look like she's 12 until she's 65.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You can't tell with you people.
But Paul, we keep interrupting you.
Well, Robbie's actually working on a very cool cosplay right now as Ursula. I figured I'd ask him about that and see what his ideas are, and see if he couldn't also paint us a picture.
I feel like maybe rather, how is the costume coming along? You recently spent the night at the lady's house who's working on it, right?
That was a few weeks ago, yes, and it was when we did our first material run. I had purchased about somewhere between 12 and 14 yards of fabric in black and purple for those of you who are familiar with the character of Ursula the Sea Witch from Disney's The Little Mermaid.
And who isn't?
Well,
The
I've actually
largest
come across a
cunt
few
under the
people.
sea.
Well, if they aren't,
Logan
then
here
they're
has
poor
never seen it. We were talking
unfortunate
about that
souls.
earlier today. I was discussing your cosplay. But you got all the different the black and the purple, and the purple's got like a really cool look to it, some sort of crush look, right? You were saying?
Oh yes, it's something that I found. It's called Bubble Plush Fleece, and it has these bubbles actually on the fabric that gives it a three-dimensional look, and it was just the perfect material for the underside of Ursula's tentacles.
Can you just explain to me, please, what in this context plush means?
It's a type of fabric.
Yeah.
Okay.
The plushness. I actually bought some bubble plush off this guy a couple blocks over a few weeks ago. Got me stoned as no. I just feel like bubble plush sounds like a weed name.
This must be a
Doesn't it,
throwback
though?
night.
It does.
Because to fill you in, a few years ago, we were all hanging out with Logan at his apartment, and
Never
I had
had
said
it.
I had bought Brittany a new plush, and he thought that it was some sort of sex toy. And we explained to him that plushes are known as stuffed animals or the fabric that they're
So
made
you
of.
cut a hole in the
A
bottom.
little plushy dog.
I'm not sure
They're
how
not
many
the-
yards of elastic that I
Whoa,
purchased,
whoa, whoa,
but
whoa,
I have.
whoa. We're just talking about cutting a vagina into.
No, we weren't.
Nobody was
No,
talking
it wasn't.
about
That's
that.
what I
Oh
meant
no,
by the
you're
hole in
you're
the
talking
bottom.
about cutting.
And you're
cutting
talking
a,
about how elastic it is, like a pocket pussy.
Okay,
No, go on,
wow,
go on,
no,
go
yeah,
on.
Wow.
Anyways.
I've really got to learn to start listening to you. More often than not, you're Charlie Brown's teacher to me.
I thought about doing that through the drive-through because our intercom used to suck.
If your intercom sucked, weren't you already doing that through the
Well,
drive-thru?
no, but like people that aren't like familiar with the new one, you know, they come up and just like sound like an airport terminal. It's like,
Well, it didn't help that you used to work with the squeaky voice team from The Simpsons.
But getting back to what you were
May I
saying,
take your order.
I completely forgot what you were saying. Oh, how is my costume coming along?
Fabric,
It's-
you were buying
The
a lot of
elasticity of.
It's a very slow process. I think my costume is about half done, and I've invested approximately $100-ish into it.
Now, here's
That ought to cover the tentacles. I've still got a lot to
I'm
do
gonna
on
say, you
this
got a
costume.
lot of work on that. Holy
Now,
shit.
the important thing here is I've adopted a term from the culinary world called mise en
Nice.
place. And that is because in order to do a successful cosplay, before you can even start, you have to go out and buy every individual piece that you're going to need, set it out in front of you, and then figure out what the fuck you're going to do with it before you can start.
See, my cosplays.
Absolutely.
My cosplays are a lot easier because I like with the penguin. I went and I rented a tuxedo. Bang, that's all I had to do. Realistically, that's all I had to do. I got some spats, but and a top hat, monocle.
Yeah, but you
cigarette
had the
holder.
penguin look already down.
A
It's
weapon
not like you
umbrella?
really
A weapon
needed-
umbrella.
we took
A
6
weapon
hours
umbrella
to make.
that Paul and Robbie made for me that I'm still I'm super happy that I own it and I use it as an umbrella. I use it less as an umbrella now because of a very windy day where I was concerned about the safety of the actual umbrella, like the integrity of it. Because I've had it for some time now, 3 years, 3
3,
years.
4 years now, about that.
Something.
Robbie,
But for the listeners out there,
You used to use it as a weapon?
No, I use it as an
You used to,
umbrella.
like, I
but
use
yeah,
it
for the
as an
listeners
umbrella.
out there, Paul and I were we very much decided very early on when we were making this that we wanted it to function as an actual umbrella.
but here's the fucked up part. It is illegal in New York State to buy a cane sword, but it is not illegal in New York State to buy the parts and assemble it yourself.
That is the weird thing I noticed.
It's not weird. I was actually, and it's not just that. There's a lot of weird little loopholes like that. When I used to brew my own beer, which is something I hope to
Yeah,
get
that's good
back
stuff,
into.
by the way. I
Yeah, I
remember
used to
that.
make I've made a few really fine beers. But when I used to make my own beers, we were at the Harvest Moon Hydroponics in Victor, because that's the place where I would go, and what we would do, I was having a discussion with the lady or the gentleman. It was forgetting which one it was. There was a lady and a gentleman who worked there regularly, and I was able to discuss with them the ability, like what we were able to do, or what I was able to do, is go in and buy all these different ingredients and make my own beer. And I always wondered why I never got ID'd. And he told me that there's just a few random 16-year-old kids who come in, buy all the stuff to make their own beer, and there's literally nothing he can do to stop them from it. Like, so if I had that knowledge as a young man, going to parties when I was like 16,
Yeah, I
17,
know, right?
dude, making my own beer in a 5-gallon bucket, it's easy as shit. It really is. Like, your parents aren't home for a day, you're able to brew your own beer. That's it. You
No,
get one day.
To back on the topic of cons.
I thought the topic was my costume.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, just
Well, I think it's a versatile topic.
on the topic of cons.
It was a
in
very
general,
hot topic.
I was listening to the radio station that my mother often has playing in her car, Legends 1027, and they have what's like to be called an impossible question. Now, I'll ask all of you in the room, and obviously you know the answer because I just fucking gave it away for the topic. But the question was:
It's okay, I wasn't.
6 out of 10 Americans are exhausted after doing this.
Masturbating.
No.
Cosplay.
Yeah. No, going to cons in general.
Going to cons.
So that
It's
is now
exhausting.
Wait, hold
just
on.
over
6
half.
out of 10 Americans. How many people are actually
6 out of 10 of the
what
Americans who
percentage?
actually go to cons.
Yeah, that is now
Oh, okay.
just over half of us that take the time to go see these cons.
The conventions, I love going to the conventions. I have such a blast.
I love going to the conventions just to see everybody's costumes.
I know they're so phenomenal. So many people put so much work.
I know.
Your Mr. Freeze costume from a few years back, and feel free to look Robbie L. Cop. Is it still Robbie L. Cop on your Facebook? I can't
It
remember.
is.
Robbie L. Cop on the Facebook.
I am gonna
And
get trolled.
I don't think you're gonna get trolled. I think if anything, I think we have a very short, small listener base. The people who listen to us, I think they do like us.
A bunch of midgets listen to us?
Yes, we get nothing.
I'm only
And
kidding about being
by
trolled.
using the
Besides,
word
if all we
midget,
have
you
are
lost all
our
the
midget
audience.
listeners, they can't reach the keyboard
Half of
anyway.
Keyboards
They've had
are
enough to do
adjustable
with
these
this
days.
shit.
Come on. But yeah, no. You look up either my Facebook, Robbie's. He had just arguably one of the most amazing handmade cosplays I've ever seen in my entire life. It's the Mr. Freeze when we all went into the Rogues Gallery. I myself was the Penguin, of course. Harley Quinn and the Joker are the newlyweds.
Who got married as the
Who
Joker
got
and Harley
married as the Joker
That
and
was
Harley
a fun
Quinn.
wedding and one hell of a party.
It was a fun wedding. I cut out on the party because I had things to do that
You
day.
had better things to do.
Not,
than
I
that.
can't say it was better things. I had other things.
I mean, come on. 10 years ago, you missed out on Maryland. I can't be mad at you because you had these tickets months ago.
Months
and
and months ago, yeah.
The concert itself would make me almost want to skip out on my own ceremony to go
Listen,
see it.
I made the
If you weren't
ceremony.
absolutely sure Brittany would kill you.
I made the ceremony. I made the free food afterwards, even though my table was the last table called.
That was fantastic
I
food,
thought
though.
we were friends. I didn't get hardly any of it. I was able to get meat. That was what was
I'm
left.
sorry.
By the time they called,
ball.
I had.
You had some
the-
meat?
I
Well,
don't
they
think I
didn't
got
have
the balls.
assigned seating. It's kind of on you that you were the last table called.
No, because what they did is they ran. I sat in the middle table, thinking to myself, they'll run one, the next, and then the next. But because Paul's family was on the first one, they ran that one. And then because Brittany's family was on the next one, they ran that one. So they skipped the middle. Middle went last. I chose middle because that should have been fine. I should have been semi-safe with that decision.
But here's the thing. You don't know this because you're not, but a lot of middle children get ignored anyways.
I am a middle child, was
yeah.
consistently ignored, and do what I do now between the comedy and the
So-
podcast and everything because I never got the love and affection from my parents that I needed, and now one of them's dead.
Well, people think it's a cakewalk being the youngest in the family. I mean, I'm the youngest, and I got just as ignored.
Youngest by minutes?
Yes, by minutes, but is that important?
I think it is. I think at that point, I think you and your sister are equal the same child. As far as when you were born, there is no youngest at that point.
If you want to get technical, she's 14 minutes older than me.
But I don't want to get technically at that point. You guys were born on the same. Was one of you born just before midnight and the other one after?
No.
Oh, there you go. You have the same fucking birthday.
Not for nothing.
Yes, we
but-
do.
Not
That's
for
what I'm
nothing,
saying.
but that must have really sucked for your mother. You ever go to take a giant dump, and then you get most of it out, and you're like, oh my god, but
Oh,
there's
absolutely.
still no relief.
I can only imagine what
There's
this
still
was.
no relief.
My mother's about the same size
And
as
then-
Brittany.
And then
And my twin sister was a 9-pound baby.
Jesus Christ.
Woo!
Did you make a flashing interest at least when you came out?
Oh, yeah, after
you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
fashionably late
Robbie-
to your own birth.
Robbie swung out. Hello, baby. Hello, baby.
Oh, yeah. After twin girl, mom was a water slide.
Oh.
No way I've ever wanted to hear my mother described.
Could have come out swinging a cane.
I've been on a lot of water
You're
slides.
exaggerating.
Only a little.
I've
That's
been on a
the point.
lot of water slides. Now I'm gonna think about your mom every time.
Well, then you'll be
I
able
don't
to-
even know your mom, dude.
You'll be
Hey,
able
you
to
gotta have something to tell your shrink.
Right?
well, at least you can replicate the beautifulness of his birth.
Woo!
Woo!
Or like,
Let's go again! Let's go again!
Yeah.
Put it back. It's not done yet. This one came out gay.
Like we started the show, take 2.
Take 2 and call me in the morning.
So, yeah, I'm about halfway done with my costume, and I've got 6-ish weeks to complete it.
Oh, what a time
Brutal.
crunch!
That
But
is a time crunch.
it can happen.
I'm
Mr.
less-
Freeze, you made in less than 3 weeks, if I'm correct.
Oh, I spent a year investing in that costume, buying a piece
But I
here and
mean,
a piece there.
But when you finally started constructing
It's
it,
always tough
after your
getting
mise
a
en
piece.
place, it was about 3 weeks of, as I'm going to put it as politely as I can, grueling hell. You could not be in the same room as this man if something went wrong with the costume. Otherwise, you'd be wearing the costume. And not in a good way.
So, are you trying to convince people to go to these conventions?
I am,
Because you're
absolutely,
kind of turning
because-
me off from it.
Well, no.
Well, the thing is, though, you put all the effort into the costume, and then you part of the costume contest, and like you have your 30 seconds or 90 seconds this year of fame, and you're up on stage, and everybody claps and they love it, and people walking around, they want to take pictures with you, and everybody loves it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
such a
when
great.
we walked in there dressed as the Batman villains, I
Swarm.
knew what it was like to be a celebrity.
I've
We
thought
couldn't
about-
go 3 feet without somebody wanting to take our picture.
I've thought about walking around town dressed as Spider-Man, so I totally get it.
But,
You just want to
here's
shoot
the thing,
webs at
Logan.
little kids.
This year at RockCon in Rochester, and I'm going to
Anything to
promote
get
it
some
because
running
I'm good
faster.
friends with the lady
Yeah,
who
too
runs
many
it.
fat kids.
But Cal Mitchell from Keenan and Cal, you're going to have Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk, and Nessa Al Ghul from Arrow. What more could you
Oh,
want?
that's right. I forgot they were having Nessia. Oh man, Nessia, the chick who plays Nessa Al Ghul from Arrow. Exactly. I
mean,
forgot that she was at this
and
con.
not only that-
I've been so excited about Kel Mitchell and Lou Ferrigno that she just like poofed out of my mind.
That's totally gay of you, no offense.
But it's just so funny because this lady works her ass off for months to book these people in advance.
Just a phenomenal lady too. She doesn't just run that. She also runs the Southern PA Con and
Yeah,
a couple
Comic-Con.
other comic book conventions, and just really just hard work, a lot of effort. She's just top notch lady.
I went to Central Pennsylvania Comic Con and I had found out she ran this. Now this con was kind of a bust, but the poor lady, 2 weeks before the con started, the venue had to change because the place had been sold out from under her by realty and stuff like that. So other than all the stuff that she had to do in the brief 2 weeks before this con, it went pretty smoothly, and I actually sat down and I talked to her. I mean, I had a vendetta against this lady because I was cheated out of a second place costume contest that didn't have a second place costume, and she failed to mention that in the beginning.
What contest was this? When you went? Was that the Quailman costume?
No, it was actually when I went with Clausen, and I was dressed as Mork, and he was a very half-assed Orson.
He won.
No,
How
I was
do you
gonna say,
half-ass
I'll be pissed.
Orson?
I'll be pissed.
He found a way.
my little no,
Of course,
nothing against you, bro.
Clausen finds a way to half-ass everything.
Orson would not make a My Little Pony reference because Orson is not on Earth, therefore would not know what it is unless Mork told him himself.
Well, unless you factor in the whole like we send certain images out into space. I don't necessarily know that it's not ponies.
I mean,
Did you just say no offense to all you bronies? Because I totally want to offend all the bronies. Holy shit, if you're
When you-
listening, just know what you're doing is wrong on so
When you
many
lead in
levels.
with no offense to all you bronies, that's a sign in and of itself that I don't know. I mean, listen, we've discussed the brony culture a little bit on previous episodes.
to be honest with you,
Sick fucks.
Josh is brony.
lots of people like My Little
Yeah,
Pony.
but-
Hell, some of my favorite voice
I don't know.
actors and one of
You-
my
you
life
were-
idols, Weird Al, does a voice for My Little Pony. It is not the voice actors I don't like. I have sat down and tried to watch the show, but I feel as if until I have a little girl or boy that gets obsessed with it, I just can't sit down and watch it. It's something about the animation that bugs me.
I have three
All the penises they draw.
I have 3 daughters, 3 young girls, and they all think that My Little Pony's gay.
Nice.
Like 3 little girls are like, nah, nope, that's just too girly for me. That's just not my shit. But my girls, mind you, are little dudes. They're badass little dudes. Like they're tough, rough and tumble little dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like
They're already part
I
of the
just
working
don't understand
class.
people
Most
who.
of the people.
I don't understand people who think that My Little Pony, or at least the current version of it, is too girly. Who absolutely love the Powerpuff Girls. It's more or less the exact same show.
Until they
Powerpuff
redo-
Girls accentuates the girliness of it to make fun of it. Though.
But here's the thing about
As compared
Powerpuff
to-
Girls and Looney Tunes and all that. The reason why I've been okay with transgenders and stuff
Wait,
like
what?
that for the most part is because
was Bugs Bunny. It was Bugs Bunny dressed
the
up.
original
He was not
transgender.
transgender.
Bullshit.
He cross-dressed and he kissed.
Cross-dressing is not
Where did he-
transgender.
But what about the makeout sessions with Elmer Fudd and just about any other
Was
villain?
that just
did you ever
drag
see-
queen? We don't know how Bugs Bunny identifies himself, and I feel like it's pretentious of you.
Bugs Bunny identifies as a transvestite.
Hey, did you ever see the one where he made out with
It's
Yosemite
pretty
Sam
much been
upside down?
established.
It's been established, but has
Spider-Man
he established it? I don't know for a fact. I'm just obviously making the mocking.
He definitely shot his
Yes,
web.
in one of the new Looney Tunes movies, Bugs Bunny lampshades the fact that he's a transvestite. He just pretty much openly admits it.
Well, I mean, good for Bugs. He's been in and out of the closet for years.
Transvestite is not gay.
It's not his fault he had to burrow out.
Making
of the
out with
closet.
dudes is gay.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
come
I
on,
don't
we
think
talked
he's doing.
for-
I don't think
It
he's
depends.
kissing Elmer
it-
Fudd and Yosemite Sam for any kind of sexual pleasure. I think he does it just to piss them off.
it depends. I
Because
think like
look at it this way.
transvestite is like a superpower.
Back
Like,
on
whether
the
you use your power
console,
for
you
good
were
or
there,
evil.
Silent Bob, when Robbie and I took first place with the gay-tality kiss between Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Gaytality. That was phenomenal.
Here's the difference, okay? Take it from one humble queen. Here's the
Humble?
difference.
Humble.
Yeah, even I couldn't say that with a straight face. I'm surprised I sounded so convincing. Shut up.
In all fairness, have you said anything with a straight face?
When I told you were funny.
Oh. So you
But here's the
didn't
difference.
want to fuck him that time?
That's the one time he didn't want to. He's not into funny guys.
Circle of Joes. Anyways.
When a straight man puts on a dress and gets his sexual kicks, he is a transvestite. When a man is a woman trapped in a man's body and has the operation, he is a transgender.
Okay, but what about
When
the
a gay
ear?
man has way too much fashion sense for just one gender, he is a drag queen.
Okay, so we've agreed that that Bugs Bunny then is a transvestite.
Yes.
So he does it to get his sexual kicks.
I think that's why he dresses up, but I don't think he's trying to seduce Yosemite Sam or
No,
Elmer
but he's
Fudd
getting
for
his
that.
sexual kicks by kissing men. And at that point, it doesn't matter the man. So at least.
But he
even
doesn't
then he's-
always kiss them when he's in drag. He'll do it when he's just in bunny mode.
I know.
No.
So I think
I
that
got it.
openly admits that he's
I
a
got
bisexual.
the answer. I think he's really just hetero-flexible.
That-
Like,
Another
he had-
Tumblr
Whoa,
label.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, there's
I feel
so
like that's a
many.
made
Just
up
throw it on
thing.
top of the pile.
Hetero flexible, so that's just a way for everybody to
That's like well,
call off their experimentation.
Hetero-flexible is another way of saying bi-curious. It's just a rest stop on the highway to homo.
Right, exactly. I was just having an
I'm not-
experiment, and then now
No.
that didn't count.
I'm not necessarily arguing with you, Robbie, but I can say that I've met some people that are okay with having like experiences with the same sex, but they don't necessarily get off on it. They do it for other reasons,
No.
whether it be like a
They're
significant
just really
other
good friends.
that happens
Sorry.
whether they have a significant other that happens to be into them.
Weaseling out of a $5 debt.
Hey, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
be
didn't pay rent this
surprised,
month,
okay?
so.
So I think so. What
There
you're
are
saying.
all
So what you're
sorts of
saying is
reasons to suck on a cock, and not all of them have to do with love or pleasure.
so heteroflexibility is pretty much what you're saying is that it's the ability to do things that would be considered homosexual in nature within the constructs of sex, but because of an outside source, not because it's the way you get your jollies.
It's another one of those words that they throw around that doesn't mean anything, like
Yeah.
bi-curious or metrosexual.
Well,
you
I feel
gotta
like
call Ollie Oxenfree.
I feel like bi-curious describes the state in which you go through your period of experimentation, and most people go through some form of experimentation within, like especially if they're. I mean, obviously if they're gay, they have to go through the whole growing up and
I was
expecting
actually
to be
just
straight.
about to ask that. Does my experience with my high school girlfriend Tina
That
count
was-
as
that
my
was-
bi-curious
That
phase?
was your bi-curious phase. That was you
Even
deciding.
though I was trying to straighten myself out?
Indeed, I feel like it
Definitely.
does.
Of course.
I feel like it does.
Because you were not bi.
Yeah, you're not bisexual.
Obviously.
I'm
You're
not.
not. You're not into
You
women,
were
but
having-
you were
having-
experimenting.
You were having a confliction with your identity, therefore
You were curious about your sexuality, so you tried, or at least you tried and you tried the sex that you're not interested in. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what it comes down to.
You were being
Once-
very hetero-flexible then.
you were being-
turbo flexible.
You
We spiked all to hell.
You had the answer that you were looking
Now-
for when you tried this. Obviously, you realized that this was something that obviously was not going to work.
Yeah,
So
that-
you got your answer from it.
Didn't pan out like I thought it would. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
That's
Mom's-
cool.
That's what
Did
she
your
gets
mom
for
blame
putting you
that
back
chick?
in.
What was her name? You said you gave us a name the last time we were talking about this. Only her first name.
The
It was
girl I lost my virginity
Yeah.
to, Tina.
Tina. Was your mom still mad at Tina? Did she
Wait,
blame her?
I don't
Lost?
think Mom knows that it was Tina I slept with. I think she had a big enough shock knowing that I lost my virginity to a girl.
You
As
lost
does
your
everyone
virginity, or you lost your virginity of that, of that
Yeah,
nature.
The
There's
first time I ever had sex
Okay.
in my life was with
It's
Tina.
just you understand where there's a very differentiation there.
Well, there's a difference.
Not to anyone who isn't thinking impaired, such as you.
Oh.
Well, no, there's a
I
fairly
think we're all
common.
thinking a little impaired.
Well, it's Beer Pirate Radio. We should be thinking a little impaired.
Yarr.
I agree. I'd love another beer.
Arr!
Yep.
Robbie.
While I'm up, can I get a beer
Another.
for anyone?
Actually,
Another.
So just a round on the house?
Yeah, round on the house.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Roundhouse for Roadhouse.
Now, getting back on a joke I wanted to
Well,
make
no,
about
no, no,
5
no, no,
minutes
no.
ago.
I'm still in the middle of this other thing.
Okay.
So, no, there's a whole subcategory of people who consider that like they say that like when you lose your virginity is the first time like when a woman loses her virginity is when she breaks her hymen, right? Technically, it's when the first insertion is whether or not you lose the virginity to the man or the woman. There's a whole different thing, and I don't feel like it's a thinking impaired thing. I feel like that's a pretty common misconception. Like when you describe losing your virginity, like the first time I ever got a blowjob, I wasn't having sex, but I didn't lose my virginity.
You
Now-
lost your
Well,
blowjob.
the only
When-
misconception that ever seems to come up when I talk about this, and people bring this up a far lot more than I do. And the weird thing is, when I say that I lost my virginity to a girl, people are automatically surprised because they think that as a gay man, I've never had sex with a girl. Many, many gay men have had sex with women. That's pretty much how we know we don't desire them.
Well, yeah, no, I mean,
to be
well,
fair,
It goes back to what our mothers have been telling us for years. Well, how do you know you don't like it if you haven't tried it?
to be fair, I just
Or maybe
figured
that
you
was just my
tried.
mother.
I figured
That
you
was a lot
tried
of
the
mothers.
one and then you tried the other.
Have you tried the other?
No, I've never tried the other.
See
I've
me
never
after the show.
I've never had the other black meat or white meat or whatever.
One time
The
doesn't
Magic
mean you're gay.
Johnson.
the other purple meat.
Seriously, get your own jokes.
But so I mean, because I feel like factor in like when you say hypothetically you say you lost your virginity. If you're a lesbian, you say you lost your virginity to a woman. You've only been with women your whole life.
I've been slapped so many times
Now,
for this.
no, I'm saying for the discussion, for the purpose alone, like, did she lose her virginity when the girl went down on her? You know what I'm saying? Or when she inserted the fingers? Because I feel like at this point, like, there's a fine line. You know what I'm saying? Or is it your
I
first
think
sexual
different
experience?
rules apply to women because it seems medically. It seems medically determined that a woman is still a virgin as long as her hymen is intact.
Now, I know of a
I
few
actually
women
do disagree
that have
with both
actually
of
lost their
those views.
virginity to another lesbian because of a strap-on. Does that count, or does it not
No.
count?
According to medical science, if the hymen has been damaged, she's technically no longer a virgin.
Poor Kobe.
Well, no, and that seems fair enough. But like, if a woman puts on a strap on and has sex with another woman without anything else happening to the woman, does she then say she lost her virginity? They were both part of the same sex act.
No, see, this is
I'm
where
not sure how it applies to women. Like I said, medically speaking, if the hymen is undamaged, she's still technically a virgin, even if they had oral or penetrative sex. If it wasn't penetrative enough to damage the hymen, it's my understanding that
So
the woman is still a
there's
virgin.
a bunch of girls' virginity that I didn't actually take
So you're
because
saying
mine
there's
is not big enough to damage the
I was
hymen.
gonna say,
Don't
you
get
know, like
penises.
Chinese women are still virgins.
Huh?
Back to the offending.
They're probably
Asians.
just as small.
Oh.
But
But no, because I've always thought that to be an interesting concept, an interesting theory. Because and then if you factor in gay men, obviously the penis insertion in the anus, man loses his virginity anally, but he say hypothetically he's never put his penis inside of another person. Does that mean his virginity is then also taken?
Well, you
Okay.
did stick it in something.
Well, the guy who stuck it in obviously lost his virginity. If I stick
Yeah.
my penis in a woman's vagina, we have sex, I lost my virginity.
I feel like, okay, back in my day and age, though it could be because I
Your
was
day and age. You're the youngest broad in this
Yeah,
room.
right.
Well, the only
He's the only
broad.
broad
But you're like the only. You're the youngest person in this room.
Mickey Mayday, we didn't have sex
Okay,
with
I
every
should
man.
say.
Wait, okay, you should say for everybody in the room, back in our days of Super Nintendos and Segas,
There you go.
Not
Atari,
even.
everybody remember that?
I guess you could say I was living kind of in the projects of Farmington, if you will,
Terrace
terrace
apartments.
You
apartments.
can totally say the projects in Farmington.
Yeah.
You know why they call it a project? It's not because they're working on it.
It's just never gonna get finished. And if it does, you have to do it like the day before, or it's right before the people come to inspect.
It's always half-assed.
Just go for the 65.
But you were saying like in your day.
Back in your day, in the projects, when
You're
all they
so damn
all
old.
they had to do was like take
on
each
the
other
last
for
episode of
You are
Dragon
the
Ball
youngest
Z.
one here. You
With
don't
or
get to
without
say
the
back in my day.
That's what
You
you're just mocking.
derailed me. What were we talking?
We're talking about derailing people,
You know, we're talking
or
to
not
folks-
derailing, railing people, and whether or not what constitutes losing virginity. Now, this is what you walked away for. Robbie took a second to go to the bathroom, but
Thanks for bringing that to everyone's
well,
attention.
no, I
I'm
had
sure
to.
that
I
you'll
had to
sleep
because I have to.
easier.
I have to re-explain this. When I lost my virginity is because I put my penis in a vagina.
Mhm.
I lost my virginity. Now, gay men have sex. Say hypothetically they're both virgins. For the first time they ever have sex, it's with each other men.
Yes.
Okay, man puts his penis in the man's anus. That's gay sex.
Yes.
Do they both then technically lose their
Oh,
virginity?
I always thought
Yes.
yes.
Or-
when they yell at each other
But
while they're watching.
how come I
dishes.
only lose my virginity if I put it in something?
Didn't they put it in something?
Well, one put it in, hypothetically the other one didn't. Say just full blown power bottom. Didn't reciprocate.
I mean,
Well, you still had something put in you. Otherwise, every woman is still a virgin.
Well, then
Right,
they were
but,
just,
but
they were
no,
the
damage
woman.
the hymen.
I
No
mean,
hymen.
we can go back
There's no amen.
for a shout.
How long were you sitting on that one?
Long enough to damage my amen.
Man.
What do you want?
So I'm just gonna say it.
I'm sorry. What's your name,
tru-
Paul?
Nah, I don't care what my name is, but I'm just gonna say it. I truly think, and I've been hit so many times.
You
with
do
this,
not truly
Two women cannot have sex. They
Here it
play
comes.
around. They play around.
Here's the letters.
Yeah, they play around with each other. Like, okay, you're like chilling out. You bring out toys. You do this and that. That's foreplay. They have a great time for 3 hours. They never have sex.
Or what about the strap-on?
The strap-on is a toy. It's a toy.
I feel like
a tool.
sex. I feel like the
What if you fall backwards and fall on a chair the wrong way? Did you like?
Hey, some of
are
the
you gonna
best
call,
sex I've
are you
ever
gonna call
had
the chair the next
was
day?
all foreplay.
Right?
Okay, but it wasn't
Agreed.
sex.
Now, depending on your
well,
views on
well,
sex.
yeah. What's your definition of sex? Is that penile ejaculation?
Did you climax?
Penile ejaculation. No, and that's where I disagree with you guys. That you don't have to bust the hymen. You just have to know that you're having sex. You know
All
what
I-
it is.
all
you know
I
what it
said
is.
when
You
bringing
each
up the
have
busted hymen is what
you
the
each have a
what the
mutual
medical definition
understanding
of it is.
If you don't break the
If
hymen,
your
Very flexible.
if your mutual understanding of sex is just foreplay, then they know that it's sex. So how does your opinion matter? How is that even valid?
That's why I've been hit before.
Now, here's the thing,
Because I've been mostly just trying
Really,
to find
that's
out.
why you've been hit? Because I can think of a couple
Oh,
other reasons.
yeah, I mean, one of the
But I
many
mean,
reasons.
now
Many
here's
of
the
those,
thing.
some of
I-
these dents in my head.
I see your views on that, but it's still a quote-unquote sexual act.
Exactly.
Sexual act. Okay, so like if a priest gets a little 10-year-old to blow him, that's a sexual act. But he's
Exactly.
So
been-
that
Yeah.
10-year-old
but he's
boy
not-
lost his virginity.
But
Yeah.
he's no, I
You lie.
disagree. I say
That's
he
what I'm
just
saying. That's what I'm asking.
I say he
It's
just
not a
has to
pretty
wash-
picture to paint, but yes.
I say he just has to wash his mouth off and
Well, I
fucking
mean,
mouth out and go and cut the steak. He's a little altered, boy.
That is top-notch work from Logan right here. Make sure you send his emails to chemdognumbers.
Now,
Send
he was
hate
an
mail
altar
to
boy
Duane
after.
Wilt
Does
show
that mean
at
he was the drummer boy
beerpiratradio.com.
during?
Pa-ra-pa-pum-pum.
We are horrible people.
Yeah, I think we should go to break now.
Listen, I'm not a terrible person. A terrible person is the Pope. Okay, he died, so he got what was coming for him. He was moving priests from from church to church because it's like, all right, well, like these people are talking, so now you gotta.
Okay, it was like over 2 popes ago that we had one that died.
Pokes.
I did not say
was it?
popes.
Oh.
Listen with
It was the
both
last
ears,
one.
clean the clown crap.
No, it's the last one. He
It won't
died.
come off like I've
He was
tried.
like,
No, the last one before this one, Pope Benny the Rat, he resigned or got fired or whatever,
I
however
didn't
the fuck
think
that
you
works.
could. I thought they just blackbagged you at that point.
I don't know how it works.
Okay, I
You know,
guess
I'm
I'm
only
one
half
pope-
Catholic.
I guess I'm
but
one-
the guy before him, he died.
I guess I'm one pope behind. I'm probably a couple presidents behind too, so sue me.
Who's the
Harry
current
Truman?
Yeah. Wasn't he the one that did the shanty towns?
But Harry, did you say Harriet Truman? Harry Truman. Right?
Harry
I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking
What?
Harriet Tubman. Like Harriet Truman.
Harriet Tubman for president.
She's got my vote.
Gave us the old underground meth labs. I don't know. What would Harriet Truman bring us? I don't
Speaking
know.
of underground railroads and all that, back in Bloomfield, I'm not sure if you guys ever did this, but we actually had a gym teacher fired because they come up with what I thought was an ingenious game, as far as racist as it was. They set up these old gym mats and that folded out in sections, and they made an obstacle course. Now, if you were on the one team, the quote-unquote slave side, you ran through this obstacle course, avoiding being
It was
hit
okay
by
'cause they were
dodgeballs by
relinquished.
the slave owners. And
I remember
I
that.
remember
And-
that game too.
I
man.
remember
the
that.
young
only intention for
whippersnappers.
it was to try and replicate to however old you are, like I'm going to say 10 years old at that point, to what somebody might have had to go through. Or just an idea of what it's like to run from
And
something
get your
you don't
leg
want.
blown off.
If you really wanted
wait,
to
no.
replicate the experience, you wouldn't use dodgeballs, you'd use paintballs.
Well, you can't
Fair
use
enough.
paintballs in a school.
Well, yeah, you can't shoot little kids with paintballs just because you want to teach them a lesson
That
about
is not a
slavery.
very fair replication.
It's not
is
supposed
it?
to be a fair replication, but mind you, a dodgeball to the face can hurt pretty fucking bad.
I
Or a
know.
dodgeball to the
Yeah,
balls.
I could attest to that.
You and I both know that the fat kids always got hit intentionally.
Yeah, they did.
Not for
Listen,
nothing, but isn't it a little ironic that the gay kids in school or whatever who are usually oppressed, they get hit by balls all the time and then they almost never dodge them, but then later on in life.
Do you even know the definition of the word irony?
Like, I was
Okay,
actually,
now that we have a
I
few
like to,
minutes.
I like to think that's pretty ironic. Maybe not Alanis Morissette ironic.
No, that song should have been named Coincidence.
God
Right?
damn it.
Yeah, bunch of terrible things that happen have nothing. The irony of that song is that absolutely nothing in it is ironic.
Maybe that was her intention.
Maybe it was.
I don't know.
I think
No,
she's just a dumb
I was
bitch.
actually no hetero, but when I was playing when I was playing dodgeball, I was always a pretty good catcher.
No hetero.
No hetero.
That joke went awry.
All right, we're gonna take a quick second, take a break. We're gonna head and probably listen to the Beer Pirate Radio Band of the Week. The featured band this week is the band PEARS with their song Green Star. So go ahead and give that a listen. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back in just a minute.
Trapped in misery, a mirror of my world. How this suspects was built. Lonely into beatings from like buzzards in the sun. Don't allow me to sleep in my crib. I dream of you and then I dream of something else. I lost your people so much more. You
And we're back. Thank you very much for listening to Peaches with their or pears. I put my phone down, and now I don't.
One of
remember
those fruits.
Well, no. I listened to the song earlier today, and I enjoyed it very much. And I know that they're Evan's featured
I love
band.
that song. Peaches for me.
That's the wrong Peaches. But that's the presidents of the United States with their song Peaches. I love.
I would run
Presidents
for
of the
them.
United
Or I would vote.
I'd vote for them, either that or refrigerator.
Because America needs to chill the fuck out.
Well, speaking of voting for who, I found this meme today, and it's reads something that I'd like to laugh at. A beer in every hand and a foot up in every ass. Red Foreman for president. He's got my vote.
I don't know if I'd vote Red Foreman. I feel like
I think I'd be too afraid not to.
Isn't that how we're supposed to feel about Trump or Hillary?
Well, think about it. Red
Just a
Foreman's
different head
also
of the
Clarence
same dragon.
Bodiger from RoboCop. He will shoot you if you don't
Thank
do what
you.
he says.
No, not a lot of people realize that, but they tried to redo RoboCop, and I'm like, dude, you cannot remake the movie where Red Foreman kills RoboCop.
Right.
You can try.
You can try.
You can try. You can try.
It's like you can do a Total Recall without Arnold, apparently.
Get in the chopper. Do it now.
So it wasn't Total Recall.
Doesn't matter. That's my Arnold
You
impression.
totally recall. And you're recalling that we didn't use Arnold again.
I totally recalled that movie one time. No, I don't know. We're doing a Total Recall.
I thought we were doing a total meme call.
Total meme call.
Total meme call.
Pass it to Brittany, my wife.
So I read this meme and I feel like it accurately describes how I feel in this current situation. Since Bernie didn't win the nomination, I'm gonna vote for Trump. Also, since the store didn't have my favorite beer, I'm gonna drink bleach. Either way, I guess I'm safe from this oncoming threat, okay?
To be fair, though,
That breaks
bleach
down
is
the
the cure
walls.
for everything, even
Yeah,
AIDS.
even AIDS. You drink bleach, you'll never have AIDS again.
Same with herpes.
Herpes, the gift that just keeps on
Yeah.
giving.
herpes, you just have to hope they don't have an open casket for you.
Oh.
At that point, I'm getting cremated. If I get herpes, I'm getting cremated.
If
That's not this.
At least nobody in here is Jewish. I always wondered if you cremate a Jew. You're Jewish? You can't cremate. You're really seriously Jewish? Oh my god, that's so
Technically.
awesome. No,
Technically, I'm not Jewish. My mother is.
I'm giving you gingerbread men for Christmas.
I like gingerbread men.
Dude, I know
You
bite
like
the,
men in
you
general.
bite the heads off them.
Gingerbread men.
Sweeter than any men I've dated.
I like them black,
Gingerly.
ginger, bread.
I like my men like I like my coffee. Hot, sweet, and rich.
I like my
Good
women like I
luck.
like my coffee. Without
Black is optional.
without
Well-
other people's dicks in it.
I shit you not, really. I used to work
It's
with
the
this
favorite
guy
way I
named
like my
Kevin,
coffee.
and he's really awesome. But he has the same dream as you, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's a dream because how many gay doctors are actually out there that say they're gay?
I don't know. I feel like
What?
Doogie
I mean-
Howser.
Doogie has. He was not openly gay as Doogie.
No, he wasn't. But
He wasn't
he had to
openly
have
gay.
known. He was like 16.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he was 16 when it ended. He didn't start
Fair
when he was
point, though.
16.
No, I don't think it started when he was 16.
Dude,
I
not
think he
for
was
nothing.
like 12 or 13.
12 or
Never
13.
know that, but
Very
he got
young.
all sorts of trim because
So
of
he
that.
would have figured it out around the time he got his MD.
He
And
got
you know
more.
what?
He got
He-
more trim than Dr.
He
Queen
got-
Medicine Woman.
Dr.
To
Queen.
touch on that subject,
He got
you know,
more.
Doogie
Did he get more M?
kind
He
of
got more
pronounces
D.
this in the movie when he plays Nightwing, and he yells at Batman for all those protection talks.
Neil Patrick Harris plays Nightwing.
Yeah.
Yes.
In what movie?
Yeah.
Son of
Batman.
Batman.
Son of Batman.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Right?
right. That is. Oh my God, with the young Damian Wayne there.
You should see him in Teen Titans vs. Justice League. He's even better.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
Nightwing.
No, as Damian Wayne, that kid has really matured into the role.
Oh, the kid who voiced him.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant the Neil
No.
Patrick Harris. All of a sudden, in the next one was just like, I'm the son of Batman now.
No, but
too.
it's the only time you'll see Neil get a boner over a woman.
I feel like Neil, no matter what, can
No, it
just
isn't.
step in and take any role.
Yeah. How about fucking How I Met Your Mother?
Like every
How many-
episode.
How many
Every single
boners?
episode.
Yeah. How many boners? does he
Okay.
have to talk away
Now,
for
to
that?
borrow from my first con, I went and saw a guy named Vic Monagna, and I went to RockCon
That's
on a
a
Sunday.
made-up name.
No, it's not. I went to RockCon on
Monagna.
Sunday, and I shit you not,
Sounds like a
Josh and
Muppet
Brittany
song.
can attest to this. We sat in on a fucking Sunday morning sermon by this man. He's a voice actor. He plays Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, He's Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist, and he's currently doing a redo of the Star Trek series as Captain Kirk. He told us he's played a lecherous old man, a planet destroyer, and a guy who hates God.
Now,
But
see, this is what I'm talking about when I
personally-
say acting should be versatile. Somebody who can pull off a range like that.
And I swear to God, he is the biggest homophobe you'd ever meet, and he is such a hard Bible hunter.
Are you still his fan?
I'm sorry, Vic who?
Yeah. Monogamy or
But
something.
his
Monogonaut.
But Vic's point was, they're just roles. He is paid to be these people. It does not get in the way of his beliefs.
So if I was a Ku Klux Klan member and I went in
So-
and played a reputable
So,
human being,
getting back on the topic, Neil Patrick Harris is not Neil Patrick Harris. He is Barney, the biggest womanizer ever, who is, I swear to God, just like his brother in
not
the
for
series,
nothing, but
just
he
in
is
the
totally
closet.
gay on that show. Like, he can try to hide it all he wants, but
Only
That's why they
gay,
give
only
him a
gay
gay
people
black
dress
brother.
that nice all the time.
And what about Jim Parsons? Sheldon Cooper on The Big Bang Theory. He came out a couple of years ago.
He did, and his character, his character is clearly not gay.
His character is clearly not sexual of any kind.
Well, actually, in the more recent
He got
seasons,
laid.
spoiler alert, the most recent seasons, he's and
married.
Amy Farrah Fowler, they make with the touching butts or whatever sex is.
I dropped off after
Touching
season
butts.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're married and they're having their first shot. But speaking of the guy who plays Sheldon, he recently, he said it all along when he first got the script for Sheldon, thought that Sheldon was this autistic kid who just grew up loving science, and that's how he plays him. And you know what? It's beautiful because if you
he
think
does
about
a
it,
bang-up job.
right?
Actually, I might
big
have read
bang-up
that
job.
same
Big
article.
bang-up.
Yeah.
I
I forget the fine details, but he plays Sheldon as if he's an autistic kid who still loves all his comic books and loves science and has
Yeah,
never grown up.
The show will probably never verify whether or not Sheldon Cooper is autistic, but Jim Parsons has gone on record
No.
as saying that he thinks
He
that
plays
on
the
the
character
record,
that way,
they've
but no, the show,
definitely
he plays the
they
character
have-
that way because
they-
he views Sheldon as having Asperger's.
I
syndrome.
have read an article. I believe it was a Rolling Stone article, which said that the Big Bang took a stand that they don't believe they did not create the character to have any kind of like autism or whatever. Like they specifically say that he does not, though Jim Parsons plays the character as such, and I think it's
funny.
It's the way it needs to be.
It's comedy gold.
But that's
because
just the thing, though. If they didn't intend for the character to have Asperger's syndrome or any kind of autism, but Sheldon Cooper read the script, or Sheldon Cooper didn't, Jim Parsons read the script and said that this reads like he has autism, I think I'll play him that way, and it made it work that way, then obviously they did something they didn't intend to do.
Well, yeah, I think they did something they didn't intend to do, and I think Jim Parsons was able to take that, use his acting and his abilities that he has as an actor, and turn that into gold, like as we've all said. I mean, Big Bang Theory, at least the first 7 seasons. I mean, I've never seen an episode of Big Bang Theory I didn't enjoy.
I'm just
Right.
upset that they didn't give Penny a last name until it was Mrs. Hofstetter.
Anyways, Brittany, you were gonna say something?
Here's where I can say different actors can bring a completely different portrayal of that character,
You're
that
absolutely
same
right.
character to the table. And while some people may
look at
think the
Batman.
person who has this role has done a good job, there's another person out there that says,
I am Batman.
For every person who does well, there's someone who goes, I am Batman.
Who says you can't do comedy, Logan? You're funny.
Logan says he can't do comedy. I agree.
One thing that we agree on, I guess.
But different characters can bring different. Batman is a huge specific, for instance, all of the different Batmans, all of the different Jokers, all of the different portrayals of the exact same character.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, the some of the people that have played Batman don't exactly play the separate roles very well.
Yeah, my argument exactly. As a lover of voice actors and actors
Hold
in
on,
general,
Paul.
The separate roles, as in like Batman versus Bruce Wayne.
Exactly. Very few actually successfully do that. Like Christian Bale did a really good Bruce Wayne, not necessarily a good Batman.
I feel the same way about George Clooney.
yeah.
George
why the
Clooney was a
Batman roles?
phenomenal Bruce Wayne.
And on the flip side of that coin, I happen to think that Michael Keaton was an excellent Batman, but not so good at Bruce Wayne.
Not a great Bruce
Right.
Wayne, not at all.
I 100% agree with you.
I feel like
I'm excited about Jared Leto's portrayal as the
I'm not.
Joker.
Oh, please, the Hot Topic model looks more like the Joker than Jared Leto.
I look more
Yeah,
like
sure,
the
the
Joker
Joker
than
laugh
Jared
was not
Leto.
intentional.
No, I'm excited to see
This is gonna
any
be a
new
good movie,
interpretation of a character I love.
Well, I am too, but here's the thing. From what I've seen so far, and I'm going to give him a good chance, they're recycling lines that don't even belong to the Joker. Like, he goes, wait till I show you my wonderful toys. No, that's not how it is in any formation of Batman. The Joker's always said, where does he get those wonderful
He
toys?
doesn't always say
Yeah,
that. He said
but-
it once.
That's-
I have,
It
a
is
few,
ironically, but
it is
once.
an iconic
I have a few
line.
different comic
and I
books
feel
from
like
different
That's the
continuities
writer's
that he
choice
says it.
to take his own direction with this movie, and you're gonna fucking sit and watch it.
And the question, and the thing is, though, is that's not necessarily
millions of
even the
people are
line
gonna sit
he
and
wrote.
watch it.
Somebody else easily was the one who wrote that line. He just portrayed it.
Now, Brittany, I have a question for you because,
Yes.
as listeners may or may not have figured out by now, Brittany is sort of gaga for Harley Quinn.
very true.
How do you feel about Margot Robbie's portrayal?
Okay, so here's where I was going to say something.
well, I wanna
anyway.
preface
Did I
this
say her
any-
name wrong?
No,
No,
I
was
want to
face
hold on.
palming.
Shh, I want to preface this by saying that at
Preface.
this point, we have only seen trailers. I know by the time this episode, some people hear it, that film will be out. That's this weekend, is it not?
Next
It-
weekend.
Oh, it's next weekend?
Next weekend.
Either way, we're still talking about this from a point where you have not seen the film. So,
Absolutely true. So, based on what you have seen from trailers and sneak peeks and whatnot, what do you feel of her portrayal of Harley Quinn?
Okay, so the first time I actually physically seen her, I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed. There was no accent like she had originally had.
the-
The
That
Jewish
was a
Queen's
huge-
accent.
Yes, it was a very, very it was
It's
very
a-
much so a
it's dis-
disappointment
It
for
was
me.
bland.
that's a,
I feel the same
But if
way.
it
That's
was
a-
if it was too much like the original, then it wouldn't be what it is.
Well,
but
But
no,
he-
it's an iconic voice. Nothing, not for nothing.
Kinda is.
I
You're saying
grew
that
up-
Johnny Storm
no-
can't be black.
No, I'm not
That's
saying
racist.
this. I know, because it's not. I'm just saying, does Johnny Storm have a specifically
movie was
iconic
great.
This
Boys,
voice?
coming,
you
this
know
coming
it.
from
Based
the guy
upon
who
his
thought
character?
it was Nick Cannon.
Brittany, continue.
But here is my valid point. I looked up the reason why Margot Robbie decided to go that route, and come to find out, in Suicide Squad, they are trying to give them a more realistic expectation of what it would be like to grow up, say, in the city where Harley Quinn is obviously from.
Without
In
the
any-
accent that you get from growing up in the city that she's obviously from.
Very true, I agree. I'm
They
still
could've-
disappointed about that.
Even if they didn't give her the nasally Fran Drescher voice, they could
I
have still
love
given
that
her
voice.
the. I do too.
There's
I do
something
too.
so fucking sexy
Arlene
about that
Sorkin
voice.
does a great
voice.
job
Oh
with
my
that
God.
voice in both the animated series as well as Arkham Asylum. I am disappointed that she didn't reprise her role in Arkham City. But
Tara
they could have at
Strong.
least given told Margot Robbie to do the Queen's accent.
I am
in
not.
whatever voice she used.
I'm not disagreeing with
Okay,
you, all
maybe
right?
the sequel.
I'm not.
As a counterpoint, go ahead. Sorry, Brett.
But at the same time, too, I guess as someone who's a fan, I try and get as much information as to why a person would portray her the way she did. Well, her reasoning being that she's trying to make this more realistic for the readers. Anybody that grows up in the city knows that life ain't exactly the easiest. I have friends that have grown up in the city, and they say it's
city
not
of
an
Gotham?
easy life.
Now,
Oh, I
here's-
think it's harder in Gotham than any other city.
Here's
I think
my
it would.
Outside of
rebuttal
possibly
to that.
Metropolis.
She was casted for the role because of her accent she did. She showed up in, I believe, the Arkham outfit, danced around and did some somersaults with her voice.
Because she knew it would get her the role, and then
Well-
she wanted to take it and make the role her own.
But here's what
Same
makes
way
it-
all the other
makes me
characters
mad.
are.
I'll give her
actors.
the chance too. But if you were casted because of her, and this is where the voice in lies, and it's one of the biggest things for acting. If you're casted for a voice and a portrayal, why fuck it up? Why ruin what's good? You got the role, don't ruin it. Heath Ledger got his role as the Joker because he was realistic. He spent 3 months locked in a room.
Yeah, he kind
Other
of
than
ruined it.
The only
Not-
people
not
he let
for
in the
nothing.
room was
I don't
Jack
think so.
Nicholson and
No, I mean by
Caesar
killing
when he was
himself.
still alive, along with his agent. Other than that, nobody. and he studied the role, and he nailed it. Unfortunately, he's also not with us, but you know.
He's not in the room right now.
Well, he might be. Let's have a
What
seance.
are you
We'll light
guys
some candles.
smoking?
You know,
But
it's
if you're
unfortunate.
casted for it, then you should go with it.
In my opinion, it is unfortunate that Brittany Murphy died because I think she would have made a superlative Harley Quinn.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely. And plus, King of the Hill wouldn't have went away, and all those other things.
But
that
they could
she was
easily
supposed
continue
to
it
do.
by saying Luann moved away.
Dude, fuck
We never,
you,
we
Luann.
never, we never got the 9th mile.
Luann gave Bobby his first incest boner. Like, not for nothing, but that's saying
You don't know if that was his first incest boner. First on-screen incest boner.
This is where it gets very, like, confusing, though, because while I'm willing to see how Margot Robbie does Harley, because recently Harley has gotten a new popularity, whereas she was just a side villain that was easily overlooked compared to the Joker.
And honestly, originally, not even a comic book character, it came about in the 90s Batman the Animated Series.
Yes, it did, and she proved popular enough to carry over into
Well, she was only supposed to be a single episode.
No, a
character.
single comic book. She wasn't even.
No,
in
a
the
single episode. No,
No,
it was.
it was
She was
an
in-
episode.
because she started on the show. She was supposed to be just some sort of like random
You see her. I
henchwoman.
recall the episode. You see her in the episode called Joker's Favor, when the Joker runs into this poor sap who dares mouth off to him, and he makes him do a favor, which entitles killing half of the police force. She is not deemed called Harley, but she looks just like Harley, acts just like Harley, might as well be Harley.
Paul is absolutely right. In fact, in that episode, look it up on YouTube. I know they have it. In that episode, the character was a blonde henchwoman of the Joker's. And coincidentally enough, that episode is the only time she ever refers to him as boss. But she's just dressed as a policewoman. She's never
Right.
called Harley Quinn, although she is voiced by Arlene Sorkin.
I like to
the
call-
Harley Quinn
Yeah, but like
voice
you,
actress.
but like you said, that character deemed appropriate enough to follow into more episodes, and that's exactly how it all
I like
it
to
all went.
call it her solo mission, the first one she ever went on with the Joker before she became so loyal. I mean,
And
she
for-
got-
Before Puddin'.
yeah, before Puddin'.
And Brittany, I do feel that I need to disagree with you on one thing about her being indistinguishable. She is 33% of the Gotham Sirens.
Yeah,
First of all, and
Fair point.
she may have started off as just the Joker's kooky little sidekick / love interest / fling / who gives a fuck.
I feel
but
like-
she grew into her own.
Well,
Isn't she supposed to be like like a psychiatrist or something that went
She
and wanted
was
to
a clinical
study
psychiatrist, and
Joker?
believe it or
She
not,
was
the
like the
Joker
character
drove
Okay,
her
wait, wait,
insane.
wait,
She's like the
wait.
character from
Wait.
Hannibal
Wait,
Lecter
wait.
movie.
Just to let you know,
Almost.
though,
Fair enough.
obviously, like, it depends on the continuity, but it is very well known that she didn't even technically graduate on her own. She slept with a bunch of people, actually, to be able to say
Just
that
like
she
Doesn't
was
That's
matter.
how she lost
graduated.
her
Doesn't
Right,
matter.
and
Doesn't
you are
matter. She
also-
still got her doctorate, which is actually more you can say for most doctors in the Batman universe.
Now,
This is kind of true.
now another
Actually,
fair.
Dr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze,
Yeah.
Victor
was
Freeze.
Victor Freeze
was
yeah,
a doctor.
Yes, was a doctor.
The Scarecrow.
But Doctor Strange wasn't ever a doctor.
No, the
he
Scarecrow
wasn't.
was
Doctor
also.
Strange
Harley
is Marvel.
Quinn
There is a
calls
Doctor
him
Strange in
out
DC.
on
Are you
his
serious?
shit.
Does
That's
it? Does she?
plagiarism.
Harley calls him out on his shit and says, some of us went to school to earn that title. I have
Great
mad
thing of it
respect
is-
for her for it.
Now, Brittany, you are right, and you are also only partially right. Like you said, depending on the continuity, she didn't always sleep her way through medical school, but she never got through medical school on her own merits.
Do they
But-
get the best AIDS medicine or what?
I don't
gotta
know.
s- Well, you, of
But
course
the
she didn't get
joke's
through on her
on
own
all you,
merit.
'cause
She
she's not
clearly
even
was
a real blonde.
She was clearly a poor doctor if she was able to be like if she was
That
able-
easily manipulated by
that
Mr.
easily-
J?
Yeah, by exactly.
But also to quote her, she also says, everything was boring until Mr. J gave me the time of the day, and then he made everything fun. Imagine, wouldn't you go just a bit fucking crazy if you were dealing with the Scarecrow, Two-Face, any other villain in Arkham Asylum, and listening to their crap all day long, then you get this pale-faced Pagliacci who listens to you to manipulate you?
But I don't think that she was interviewing the other Arkham inmates. I think she specifically joined the Arkham staff so that she could write a book about the Joker. In fact, Josh, are you okay?
Pale face Pagliacci.
Couldn't even handle it. Couldn't handle it. Dude's dying over here on the couch.
And here I thought I was the only one who enjoyed highbrow humor, but you remember.
No, we all enjoyed the
I know
Pagliacci.
what you are
And
talking
kudos to
about.
Paul
Even know
for bringing that
who
one up.
She couldn't even remember Poison Ivy's name when they met during that same botched museum heist.
Yes, actually, it's known in the very beginning that she just had a particular interest in the Joker himself. She was more interested in trying to cure him, and when she realized that she couldn't cure him, I believe that's when she herself went insane.
I'm actually surprised that she thought she could cure him. I mean, this is a girl who couldn't even complete medical school without help, and she thought that she could tame the wildest shrew in the DC universe?
Well,
But
think about it
but
this
she was
way.
able to, even if it wasn't on her own merit, she always found a way to get through fucking the schooling. No matter how she did it, she just, I think at that point she just assumed
And she thought she could
find
hold
a
her
way
own
to-
against
No,
the
there
Joker.
is
she would be able to find a way to do it.
On the topic for Harley Quinn, there is a very
And
respectable
she did it
episode
pretty
for
much the
her
same
in the
way.
animated
At least tried to.
series where Joker's on the loose. He's stolen pretty much an atom bomb. And Batman bails her out of Arkham, and she goes through all the channels, all the hideouts. She knows, I'm pretty sure she knew about the Joker's plan the entire episode, but was just playing with Batsy just to have some fun. But she goes to this musical number. I mean, she handles herself fairly well, and as Robbie said, she grows into her own. And when she meets Poison Ivy, who is also as manipulative and vindictive as Joker.
They
But
definitely
with the
scissor.
difference of actually giving a shit about Harley Quinn.
This is where I could say that, and
Well, that's
this
where
goes
Ivy
into,
comes in. Ivy actually does give a shit about Harley.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
This is where I feel like the new
It's high.
continuity, new 52, if you will.
Where they all admit that they have a lesbian relationship?
They do.
Well,
they
yes,
do mention
yes,
they
they
are
do.
officially a
Yes,
couple.
yes,
In fact,
yes.
I believe, have you, Josh? I know you
I've
collect the
jerked off
DC
to the thought of
Bombshell. I know you collect the Bombshell comics. Have you gotten to the one where
He
Harley and
hasn't
Ivy
read-
share a kiss?
He hasn't read it yet.
No. Okay, I believe that Pamela Isley is heteroflexible.
Well, all right, everybody. I think that's the amount of time we have tonight for the Duane Wilt Show on PEAR Radio. On behalf of everybody here in the room, give us a good resounding yard. Can we get?
Release the Kraken!
Holy
of the
shit, we
beers.
spiked like crazy.
Yo-ho!
So
Gary out.
that's the time we have for today. On behalf of everybody here in the room, to the listeners, we will see you guys next Wednesday. And for me, to everybody here in the room,
Actually, Tuesday. Oh,
I
right.
will see you
We won't
guys
see
next.
you at all, but
You guys, do you literally have to ruin my closing of my show every time? Is this the Logan Wright show? I'm gonna do this again.
You do not have the rights.
For everybody here in the room, I'm saying to you people in the audience, we will see you next Wednesday. And for everybody here in the room, I will see you next Tuesday.
Goodbye.
Bye!
Bye.
21 guns, box made of pie.